The AFC South Breakdown is the division breakdown this week. As a reminder, last year's standings: the Titans 12-5, regular season AFC champs in 2021. The Colts 9-8, the Texans 4-13, the Jaguars 3-14. Start as always with those who were first. The Titans, key losses: AJ Brown lost to a trade. John Brown free agency. Darrington Evans was released. Rashawn Evans linebacker free agency.
You'll miss like groups of names. The Browns, you're gone. The Evanses, you're gone.
Anthony Ferkser, tight end free agency. Dante Foreman, running back free agency. Jackrabbit Jenkins, cornerback, was released. Julio Jones, released. David Kessenberry, right tackle, lost free agency. And Roger Saffield, guard, released. Got a couple key members of the offensive line there.
Yeah.
Which are stalwarts to Derrick Henry's ground game.
Some key targets for the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Key additions: wide receiver Traylon Burks. I don't know if that's key, but it's an addition. Deshaun Hand, D end. Austin Hooper, tight end. Once the highest paid tight end when he was with the Browns. Roger McCreary, cornerback, they got in the draft. Safety AJ Moore, DeMarcus Walker, defensive lineman Malik Willis in the draft, quarterback from Liberty. And lastly, Robert Woods, wide receiver, who they got from
the Rams.
The Rams. So for the Titans, offensively, we've got Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, Derrick Henry at running back. Robert Woods seems to be the best wide receiver option, even though he's coming off a season-ending injury last year. And Austin Hooper at tight end. Defensively, did see a lot of huge defensive people in majority of these teams. You got Bud Dupree at linebacker and Amani Hooker at strong safety for the Titans. Questions for this team: who is going to be Ryan Tannehill's go-to this year?
It has to be Robert Woods, right?
Yeah, I would say.
I think he's the only option.
Yeah.
Do we think Derrick Henry can make it a full season with another strong workload ahead of him?
I question that, whether he'll stay healthy.
I think that they need to use him wisely.
Yes.
Yeah, the play action works for them, and the running game works because they had AJ Brown to take the top off the defense. Without AJ Brown, without Julio Jones, without even Anthony Ferkser at tight end,
I was going to comment on that earlier. Austin Hooper and Anthony Ferkser are very different tight ends.
Yes. So I think that's going to be – everybody's going to key on the running game early for the Titans, and they're going to make Ryan Tannehill beat them. So next we have the Colts. Key losses: Carson Wentz. Maybe not so key.
Have you heard? Did you read Ron Rivera was like, yeah, we know he's been super inaccurate in training camp so far, but we're not worried about it. It's fine. It's like,
but Terry McLaurin's kind of upset about it.
Scary Terry.
It'd be so scary if the ball's not within 10 feet of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Eric Fisher, offensive tackle, lost. That's a big deal for them. Mark Lewinsky, guard, lost. Jack Doyle, tight end, retired. Rocky Ya-Sin was traded at the cornerback position. Zach Pascal, wide receiver, lost in free agency. Kari Willis retired from safety. Xavier Rhodes, quarterback, free agency, becoming at the time the highest paid cornerback in the league. And then Al-Qaeden Muhammad, defensive end, lost to free agency. The additions for the Colts: at quarterback, Matty Ice. Matt Ryan joins Colts Nation.
It's a goal.
Yeah, I think so. Yana Kagaku, they traded to get a defensive end. Stephon Gilmore comes from free agency. Matt Pryor, they re-signed on the offensive line. Miley Cox, they re-signed at tight end. They got wide receiver Alec Pierce in the draft. Nick Koss, safety in the draft. And they picked up cornerback Brandon Fasison. Free agency. I'm not sure. That's my guess.
I think so.
Which leaves the Colts on the offensive of the ball with Matt Ryan at quarterback, the man running back Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman at wide receiver, along with Paris Campbell and Mo Alley Cox at tight end. Defense, they've got DeForest Buckner at the tackle and Shaquille Leonard at linebacker. this is actually Darius Leonard, who is now going back to Shaquille now. I think that's a given first name.
All right.
Might as well.
Questions? Yeah, I was looking. I was like, "Where's Darius Leonard?" And then I saw Shaquille Leonard, and I was like, "What is going on?" So I did a little search, and I found that out. So
I think the Colts are going to be okay this year. I think they're going to hang.
Yeah, I agree.
Matt Ryan, he's got enough going on around him. They have a good run game, and I think he has in Pittman. He's got a decent wide receiver option. We'll see, but I don't have too many like glaring concerns with them. I don't think they're going to be the Super Bowl champions this year, but I think they'll have a decent season.
is Michael Pittman the number one wide receiver, and will he be the number one wide receiver at the end of the year?
Yes and yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that completely.
Is Matt Ryan going to be able to stay upright? We heard about some of their losses on the offensive line.
I think he has a good year.
Yeah, I do too. I feel good about Matt Ryan this year.
And is Jonathan Taylor going to follow up last year's campaign with another strong year?
Yes.
I defer to Muffneck later.
Okay, fair enough. We'll hear from Muffneck later. Now we get to the Houston Texans. Key losses. Justin Reed, free agency at safety. Jake Martin, linebacker, free agency. Tyrod Taylor, the man who got stuck in his lung that Jim always wants to talk about.
Shut up.
Lost to free agency, and AJ Moore, safety, lost free agency. Additions for the Texans. Derek Stanley Jr., quarterback in the draft from. Anybody? Nobody's got it?
No,
No,
sorry.
Go Tigers. Kenyon Green in the draft, offensive lineman. They got a safety, Jalen Piter, in the draft. They obviously got John Metchie III in the draft, which we've
Alabama.
talked about. Good
Sorry, I was
job,
just
Alex.
trying-
Way to go. They picked up Kyle Allen in free agency at quarterback. They've got a lot of people. Really, they brought in a lot of people in free agency and added a lot of pieces to bolster their team.
I guess, but none of them jump out to me as like great additions. They're very Texans players.
There we go.
Just
Which leaves the offensive weapons as quarterback Davis Mills, running back Marlon Mack, and wide receiver Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks needs to get out of Dodge. He's a good receiver.
Yeah, I agree. Defense, Derek Stanley Jr. and there's nobody else that jumps off the page of me.
Brandon Cooks wouldn't look bad in black and yellow.
Give Claypool another year, see what happens.
Sure, fine, whatever.
Questions for the Texans. How's Lovie Smith going to make this team work?
He's not.
He's not.
Okay. Will Davis Mills be a viable starter this year for the Texans, or
No.
is he not going to make it the whole year?
Not gonna make it the whole year.
If he makes the whole year, it won't be good.
No.
Okay. I'm not going to say that this is going to make Houston a contender by any means, but I think Davis Mills is going to solidify his role as a starter in the league this year. Take that for what you will.
He's playing devil's advocate, Muff. Do you really believe that?
I do. I believe that he's going to prove that he's a starter in the league.
Okay.
On to the Jaguars, the real team, the winners.
Well, are they?
They already are losers.
They tried real hard last year, Jim.
Well, coaching issues last year.
They literally are already losers.
Yeah, they've already lost this year. They've lost a game.
Well, that was
Terribly. They were greatly outplayed.
Yeah,
they weren't playing anybody.
they scored a touchdown by like the skin of their teeth.
To hit the over, by the way. I didn't bet it,
Yes.
but I know it was the over.
They have some losses.
They do. Key losses: DJ Shark at wide receiver to free agency, Miles Jack linebacker to free agency, guard Andrew Norwell to free agency, guard H.A. Can to free agency, center Brandon Linder to retirement. It's a lot of offensive line pieces to be lost.
You also missed the head coach.
Oh, they didn't lose him in the offseason, Jim.
They
Oh,
lost
that's true.
for the offseason.
Yeah, that's true.
He lost them
Yeah.
in the middle of the season.
Yeah, that happened.
Happened in a downtown Columbus bar, Jim. All things started.
All went downhill from there.
Maybe. Key additions for the Jaguars: Christian Kirk, wide receiver; Trayvon Walker in the draft, linebacker; Brandon Scherf, guard; Boy said Aloakan linebacker. I know I said that incorrectly. Evan
That
Ingram,
was a
tight
good
end.
shot, though. That was a real good shot.
Evan Ingram, tight end. Devin Lloyd, linebacker in the draft. Foley Fadakasi, defensive lineman in free agency. Darius Williams, cornerback free agency, and Zay Jones, wide receiver in free agency, who they're kind of big on.
If we don't do anything at 150 episodes, we should win some kind of award for the way you pronounce names. Because by God, you give it the best shot.
I try.
Very confident too. He rolls right through it.
Right through it.
On
Yes.
paper, this team doesn't look terrible.
No, it doesn't. You're right.
I mean, they're probably gonna be terrible just because of the nature of the beast. But I like Trevor Lawrence, good. Christian Kirk, good. Zay Jones, good. Like I like Trevor Lawrence throwing to Christian Kirk and Zay Jones. I just
ATN's
don't.
not bad.
No, he's not bad. But I'm saying if I'm looking at like what I'm like looking forward to seeing is that the problem is,
Who they got on defense?
yeah,
Yeah.
Trayvon Walker and Shaq Griffin.
That's about all I could pull from there.
Yeah.
And their second and third string, actually, they had some of their first string players in like on edges at the cornerback, and they were not doing well against the second and third teamers.
Oh.
Devontae Adams wasn't even on the field, nor was Derek Carr the one throwing the ball. Jarrett Stidham was tossing the rock for the Raiders, and they were having issues.
Stidham's not bad.
Stidham's a system quarterback for Josh McDaniels. That's why he's there. Everybody knows it.
He spent years behind the goat.
Okay, but he's if he can do that to the Jaguars, what could Derek Carr do? Or
Okay. I don't. That's the Jaguars aren't going to be total poop.
Did you just like magically become a Jaguars fan after Urban Meyer left? Is that all you were waiting for?
He's not. They're not going to be total poop. Is all
Are
I'm
you
saying.
a Clemson Tigers fan now? Trevor
Shut
Lawrence,
your
Travis
mouth.
Etienne.
Shut your whore
Oh
mouth.
my God, Dabo! You and Dabo are best buds.
Ooh, all right, Muff. Come on.
Questions
really
for the
just stirring up that
Jaguars.
pot.
Yes. Will Trevor Lawrence experience success this season?
I leave it to Muffneck.
Are you deferring to Muffneck later as well, Alex?
Sure, yeah.
Can the defense do enough to take pressure off the young signal caller and their offense?
No.
No.
I think their offense keeps up. I think that their defense sucks ass.
All right.
There you go.
Yep.
Sucks ass. Alex's breakdown. Good job.
Mhm.
Can running backs James Robinson, Travis Etienne stay healthy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think they can stay healthy because I think their defense is so bad that these teams are going to be putting up points. So they're going to have to throw to get down the field. So I think it'll take the pressure off them a little.
Okay. And will the Jaguars recover from the dysfunction that plagued them last year to have any type of success this season?
I think
They will be better.
They will finish the season with the same head coach as they started.
That's successful.
Maybe.
Right.
Okay. Which brings us to our standings, our projected standings, our thoughts, our guesses, our how things are going to go. I'll start this week. I think I've been second or third the last couple of weeks. I will start from the bottom. I have the Jaguars at 5-12. I have the Texans at 6-11. The Titans at 10-7, and the Indianapolis Colts winning the division with 11-6 record.
So I'll go after you. The only difference, I have the same records, just different teams. I have the Texans at the bottom at 5-12, the Jaguars at 6-11, the Titans at 10-7, and the Colts at 11-6.
So I think it's funny because mine were the Titans 11-6, Colts 10-7. So again, same top two records, just flip the teams from you guys. And then I had the Texans at 7-9, and I have the Jags at 4-13.
I think this division is we know the two best teams and we know the two worst teams, and it's just let's see how it shakes out.
I think I missed a game in the Texans somehow too. I'm gonna make them 7-10.
That's fair.
Yeah. Alex is still playing in a 16-game season.
Yeah. I don't know.
If you have any thoughts on what's going to happen in the AFC South this year, let us know. Tweet at us. Respond in the comments. Do what you got to do. DM us. Send us a video. We can put you on YouTube, and you can be a superstar. But until next week, when we'll break down the AFC East or West, one of the two.
AFC East.
AFC East. Thank you for looking at your post-it, Alex.
You're welcome.
Until we look at the AFC East next week, this has been your weekly rendition of
The off season.